Well, this just in, it's time for vectors. So graph, and I put it as A, B, and C so that you graph them separately. So for part A, graph U plus V. So first of all, to find U plus V, all you have to do is you add the x with the x. So 2 plus negative 3. And then you add the y with the y. 7 plus 4. So that is negative 1 comma 11. Now there's actually two ways to graph it. Here's one way. So you go over to negative 1, you go up to 11. First, I like to put a dot right there, and then you draw an arrow from the origin until it touches that dot. Put a little arrow on it, and we're done. There's actually another way to get the same answer, and that is you graph these original vectors. So 2, 7, put a dot, make an arrow. So that's U. And then V is negative 3, 4, put a dot, and then an arrow. And then what you do is you take a copy of this vector, so copy it and paste it. So it needs to be the same length and it needs to be the same direction. That looks like it. Then do the same thing with this one. Take a copy of it. It has to be the same length and the same direction, and put a copy of it right here. And then draw the diagonal. And then that would be U plus V. So this makes a pretty picture, but this way is a little more accurate because then you could see the number 11 and negative 1. On this one, I can't quite see that that's an 11 up there, but it is. Then what about U minus V? So U minus V. So then you would just take the x minus the x. So 2 minus a negative 3. And then the y minus the y. So 7 minus 4. And then that would be, this would become a positive, so that's 5. And 7 minus 4 is 3. So one way to do it is you go over to 5 and you go up to 3. You put a dot right there and then go like this. Now you can do it this way also, but what you would do is you would draw the other diagonal and then it would be sitting up here in space. You would then need to take a copy of that and move it down to the, so that it touches 0, 0, and then it would look just like that. But this way is fast, easy, and accurate, so I prefer to do it that way. Next up, what about 2 times V? So that just means take these numbers and double them. So this will be negative 6 and this will be positive 8. So if you were to graph the original V, that would mean go to negative 3 and 4. This is the original vector V. Now when you double it, that means you go over to negative 6 and you go up to 8. And basically what that does is it makes the same vector, at least the same direction, but now it's twice as long. So by putting a 2 in front, it still goes the same direction, but it's twice as long.